I'm gonna be sharing some of the most traumatizing stuff on my feed from today. So I saw this video where a person who wanted to save water came up with quite a creative innovation. He didn't want to waste water by flushing repeatedly, so what he would do is take a piss in a bucket and then he would add gelatin to it so that it would solidify. Later on, he would throw it in the trash. That's fun. Oh, and did I forget to mention, he stored his piss jelly inside his fridge along with his other food. I also saw an interview of Andresa Jurach, who is an adult entertainer, and all of her scenes are shot by none other than her biological son. I don't even know where to begin with this. He said that it's not attractive to him because it's his mother and he sometimes finds it gross, but they giggle through the awkwardness. That's an actual quote by her son. I'm not making any of this up. I saw a Get Ready With Me of a man with titties, and the titties were uncensored. So, I'm just gonna put the part which YouTube's gonna allow. Very strange to watch, to be honest. This doesn't sit right with me. You know what I'm saying? So I just came across a video where a woman took a live fish, and put it up her front door. Yeah. The fish later died of suffocation and she was eventually arrested and charged. But still, how do people come up with this? She even filmed it and posted it on the internet. I also came across this video of a guy literally milking a rat on Instagram. So the first post we're going to be talking about is about this guy who had a terrible experience trying to fuck a coconut. So one day this redditor is just bored, looking for things to do, and he decides he's going to fuck a coconut. Cuz why not? All right? So he uses some butter as a lubricant, and then he goes to town on that thing, and he enjoys it so much that he decides he's gonna keep doing it. So over the next few weeks, he just fucks this coconut. His only mistake, he never changed the coconut. He used the same one every single time. Right off the bat, this does not sound like a good idea. This one is gonna be a really interesting story. So he's been using this coconut for about 3 to 4 weeks now, and he notices there's some sort of weird smell in his room, right? And he's like, whatever, he'll just use the coconut one last time and then throw it away and, start using another one. This was where he truly fucked up. You see, as his meat cannon entered the coconut one last time, he felt a weird, warm, tingling sensation. When he pulled out, he discovered that his penis was covered with maggots, live maggots. They were crawling all over his junk, and some were even trying to make their way inside. The maggots had been feeding off of his accumulated loads for the past 3 to 4 weeks and had finally grown to full size. That was pretty messed up, but it's nothing compared to this one. So most of you have probably heard of one man, one jar. But if you haven't, let me explain it for you. So in that video, a dude walks into the room with a glass jar. He takes the glass jar and puts it up his behind, and the glass jar breaks. And the video is just him taking out the shards of glass, and he is like, there's blood everywhere. Is awful to watch. It's just straight up gore. I do not recommend searching it up, but it is one of the fucked up things that has come across my Reddit feed today. I also found some hentai of Hitler, which is nothing out of the ordinary for Reddit, but just pretty interesting. I think I woke my mom up. I'll be right back. Yeah, so my mom wasn't too happy that I was filming Reddit videos in the middle of the night. So it's the next day, I found this really fucked up subreddit called r slash sounding. Sounding is a sexual practice where a dude takes a thin, long metal pipe and inserts it into his pee-pee, which is the most horrifying thing I can possibly imagine. The whole subreddit is just full of dudes sharing dick pics with metal pipes in them. That is one subreddit I do not recommend going to. I mean, I've seen subreddits where people talk about cannibalism, incest, gore, all that shit, but this shit was traumatizing. This one is absolutely wild. So the first post I came across was of a man getting head from a cow. Yes, you heard that correct. A man getting head from a cow. And my first reaction was like, what the fuck? Isn't this illegal? And I looked it up and it's apparently a gray area. So basically, penetrative sex with animals is completely illegal. But oral sex is a gray area because unless the animal is forced and unless it's done in public, oral sex with animals is actually perfectly legal when done in private, which is absolutely crazy to think about. And I'm not making any of this up. This is actual US legislature. I came across a post where a woman ate her own placenta. If you don't know what a placenta is, basically when you're pregnant, it's an organ through which your baby gets food through your body. And after giving birth, the woman took her placenta home with her from the hospital, cooked it, and ate it with her family members. I thought to myself, no way this is real. But then I googled it, and it's apparently very common in a few cultures and is treated as a delicacy. This kind of reminds me of that post where a Redditor was in a motorcycle accident and had to get his foot amputated, and later on he took the foot home and ate it with his friends. He cooked it and he said it tasted kind of beefy and a little fatty, which is, yeah, just interesting. I also saw something very interesting, but I'm thinking of a way to describe it which doesn't get me banned from YouTube. I saw a man with one leg just straight up pounding this woman. Bruh. So the last one we're gonna cover is this. A couple was rushed to the hospital because a man's head was stuck inside his wife's vagina. And no, this is not some weird kind of fetish porn. It's an actual news article. So what happened was they were experimenting and this dude decides to put his head into her. And he actually was kind of successful because he got halfway in there and then he got stuck. And whenever he moved, the wife was understandably in a lot of pain, and it took a long time for doctors to get his head out of her. But in the end, both were ultimately fine and did not suffer any major injuries. That's a happy ending. Before I begin, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Anyway, the first post we're going to be talking about is an unfortunate thing to exist. So there's this post titled Poop Scissors. And basically, there was a dude who took a shit. And the shit was so big that it wouldn't flush down the toilet no matter what he did. So eventually, he cut the poop with scissors and flushed it. And yeah, there's an image of it. I don't recommend you go and search it up, but up to you. Already off to a disgusting start. We're going to talk about something even worse. Something new I learned today, which I absolutely wish I hadn't, is the term docking. It's when two guys come together and, touch tips, the tips of their dingalings. And that's not even the worst part yet. The weirdest part is what I'm about to say. One of the guys is gonna be cut. That means circumcised, and the other is not. So, what the uncut guy does is as he is touching the cut guy's tip, he takes the foreskin and he just puts it on the other guy's head, the dickhead. And that, my friends, is called docking. It's a real term, it's a real thing. There are images. Do not Google them. I forgot to mention the reason it's called docking is because the way ships dock in ports is similar to how your penis head is docking in someone else's foreskin, which is horrifying. I wish I had not opened my Reddit app today. This is beyond fucked up. Guys, I am beyond traumatized and I do not want to cover another one. So, we're gonna cover a cool one instead of a really, really disgusting one. So, did you know that when a caterpillar transforms into a butterfly, when the caterpillar is in the cocoon, it's not just that it grows wings and transforms into a butterfly. The caterpillar actually turns into some sort of liquidy, soupy, mushy mixture, and then it transforms into a butterfly. Every part of the caterpillar becomes this liquid type stuff. And the crazy thing is, after it transforms into a butterfly, it still has the memories of when it was a caterpillar, which I don't know how that's possible after your brain has been liquefied. The first reel I came across was about people who get high from inhaling shit. So, what people do is take a shit in a jar and then seal it airtight. Then they let it sit in the sun for some time until it starts to ferment. Then they take off the lid and they just smell the vapors and get high from the vapors of their own shit that has been fermenting in the sun for a few hours. It's a real thing and it's called Jenkum. That is something I did not want to hear today, but you know what? If I have to hear it, so do you guys. Can you imagine getting high from your own feces? That's disgusting. What the fuck? This is kind of like glue sniffing, but instead of sniffing glue, you're sniffing your own poop. And sometimes they mix it with urine as well. I saw a reel about a man who had gotten hospitalized because he had inserted a 23-inch dildo into himself and it had gotten stuck. 23 inches. That's almost 2 feet. This seems so unbelievable that I had to fact check it. And while fact checking it, I found another instance which is even crazier. So, a man had inserted a 26-inch electric eel up his ass and it had tried to chew its way out of his digestive system, and that's how he had gotten hospitalized. This is a different man than the 23-inch dildo one. But what the fuck is going on? Also, I found out about a game that's really fucked up and it's called Soggy Biscuit. So basically, a bunch of guys stand in a circle and then they start stroking it and they aim to come onto a biscuit that's kept in the middle of the group. The last guy to come on the biscuit has to eat the biscuit on which everyone has already jizzed on. So yeah, some interesting games out there. See, this is why I'm not on Instagram that much, because it's so fucked up. Like, you open the app, it's either death or people breastfeeding. There's no in between. And that concludes this video. I hope I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Subscribe for more and don't forget to hit that bell notification or I'm gonna touch you.